exciting. Josh, can we have the first slide, please? With the schools on, so I can make sure I include them all. eMerge is in 10 schools now, and I just want to tell you a little bit about what's happening in each of them. And when we were singing that song Behind Lifted Up, I was just like, oh my goodness, this is all about you, Jesus. You know, like you kind of have a new revelation and a new experience that this busy start of the term that I've been trudging through going, I haven't got enough time to do everything. It's all about him, and that's just amazing. That's such a joy. And so we started the start of this year without Libby, and a couple of the eMerge groups last year had dwindled in numbers. We didn't have any leaders for them, and we were a little bit concerned about what the future was going to be. So what I'm going to tell you now is really exciting because we've seen so many great things going on in eMerge in the last few weeks. So maybe I'll go alphabetical order if I can do it properly. In Boswells, at the end of last year, we were down to 2 students, and myself and Andy were running it, really struggling to work out what God was wanting us to do in the school, if there were going to be any eMerge leaders that were going to kind of come up into the forefront of the school. And we went back this year, and our first eMerge group, there was me and Andy and 2 students, I think, wasn't there? And we had a lovely chat with the RE teacher, who's a new teacher there. And myself and Andy came out and we were like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? Don't know what we're going to do. So obviously we prayed about it and just said, well, let's just see how things go. And amazingly, God has brought us all these new young people over the last few weeks. And there was probably, how many was there last week, Rachel? There's probably about 10 young people, all Christian kids who come along from, there's like a couple of girls with their cousins and some girls from different churches and a few sixth formers. And so we're really encouraged that God was, just saying to us, don't write it off. I've got stuff going on here. So that's really exciting. Please do pray for Boswells. I'm out of alphabetical order already. Bado. The group at Bado is, as some of you probably know, is really exciting. It's more of an outreach group where we had a group of Year 9 girls last year. They're now a group of Year 10 girls with all their Year 9 friends coming along to play games, eat the food, and hear a little bit about what God's got in store for them. The next slide after, don't go yet, Josh, just shows you a bit of the work we've been doing with them. That's really exciting. Their new friends came along and were like, what is this club? And they were like, oh, you get food and talk about Jesus. And I was like, yeah, you do. So that's really exciting. I'm not going for alphabetical now. St John Payne, they've got 4 eMerge leaders there, chaplaincy prefects. I went in this week and they probably had 20 Year 7 kids come along. They were talking about truth. Does it travel? How does truth look? That's really exciting. They're really well supported by Christine, who's the chaplain at St John Payne. Chelmer Valley. Woo! Josh is our Chelmer Valley representative. They're a great core group. They're a good group of mostly Christian kids who come from different churches. We've had a little bit of a problem with leadership in that school over the last couple of weeks. A couple of girls have stepped down from leading, so myself and Andy are covering that. But that's okay for us. And from that also, Mr Thornton, who's a teacher there, is starting another group for years 10 plus, which is called Elevate, which Josh is now going to as well. And he this week had 15 students, 5 of whom weren't Christians, to come along and see what it was all about. So that's really exciting. God's moving again, as he does. Sandon, this was another school that we were really concerned about at the end of last year. There was a group of 3 Year 8 girls who were coming along with no student leader. And it meets at the same time as Chelmer Valley, so we were a bit concerned about how we were going to be able to cover the groups. 2 things are great there. More students have come, which is amazing, and some sixth form girls who seem maybe have the potential to take on leadership. And also Meadgate Church have given us 3 lovely people to support us in the school. So they're now supporting us in Bado and Sandon. They youth worker Steph Belvin, Jackie, who works there voluntarily, and a guy called Tom who works alongside Steph. And a lady, Caroline Speed, I think her name is, who's just started at St Michael's Church, Gallywood. She's rang me this week. I didn't even have to chase her, and said, I want to get involved in eMerge. What can I do? So it's so exciting.